Hello and welcome to the Delta F1 podcast, your pit stop to all things F1 and more. Today you're with your host. I'm Bryce, and this is Alan. And today we're going to be going over a couple things. We're going to be doing our podium predictions, the fastest lap prediction. We're going to be talking about some team battles. Things have been very spicy in between teammates. We're going to be talking about the race winning margin, what we predict the inevitable winner of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix victory margin will be. We're going to go over just a few things just like that, and hopefully be able to bring you a great episode here today. So thank you for joining us for our 5th episode of the podcast.
Yeah, welcome everyone. We're doing a little bit things different, than prediction wise. So we're excited to try this a little bit differently, maybe add some more excitement and just give our takes a little bit differently. Hopefully we have different takes. Dude, you know why I was laughing, Bryce?
Huh.
I was looking at our faces.
Right.
I think it's fair to say everyone can tell we just woke up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, we just woke up. I was dude, I didn't go to bed till like 1:30 last night. I'm absolutely exhausted. I have work in 1 hour, T-minus 1 hour. But we're live.
Your eyes do look so red, dude.
My eyes are bloodshot. I ran out of eye drops. There's no playing this off this morning. This is raw. My hair's wet. Knees weak.
Mine's
are heavy.
too, dude. All right, let's get this started, dude.
Well, and actually, I think before we hop right into our first point, which is going to be the podium predictions, huge news. I woke up this morning.
Oh, right.
Wiped the crust out of my eyes, and then I saw Oliver Bearman to Ferrari for one race. Carlos Sainz, unfortunately.
Well, you don't know.
Yeah, maybe more. But Carlos Sainz does have appendicitis, so hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But Oliver Bearman is going to be sitting in a seat. He competed in FP3, and he has one session before he has to hop into a car and put down a lap on one of the fastest, dare I say, most dangerous track on the calendar. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on that? How do you think he does?
Well, we saw him briefly while we were half asleep on FP3. I mean, I was actually pretty surprised. He's 18 years old, but he has a ton of experience on, building the ranks, especially now being in FP2. I believe he's one of the favorites, right, with Kimi Antonelli to, win the whole championship. And they're teammates, right, in Prema Racing?
Yeah, so it's his second season in F2. Last year he finished, I believe, 6th with a couple good performances. And I think he had a victory and good amount of podiums. But yeah, so now he's going to be hopping into the spotlight, Formula One, under the lights of Jeddah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about him, but just seeing him on the track, he looks pretty confident. He looks comfortable, especially him getting pole in the F2 race. So he knows the layout. I think he's confident enough just to obviously finagle some things in the F1 car with all those big differences. But I'm excited to see what he does. Obviously, I think we're both a little bit jealous, comparing what we were doing at 18 years old.
Yeah.
He's taking over Carlos Sainz, granted for one weekend, but still, F1 car, lifelong dream. Can't imagine. Yeah. But big news for sure. I'm excited to see what he does and how that shapes things up in the rankings.
Yeah. Now there will be 21 drivers in the championship, so I guess Sargent has a chance again to finish outside of the top 20.
Let's start it.
All right, so we're going to be hopping into our podium predictions first and foremost. The drivers we think will be occupying the top 3 steps. Would you like the honors? Would you like to go first?
All right. So I'm going to do third to first. I think it's going to be exactly the same as last weekend. Red Bull, Ferrari. But obviously Sainz not being there this weekend. Yeah. I have Leclerc in third.
Okay.
I have Checo in second. Checo had a great year race last year. He obviously won it. I think he's going to have pretty similar pace, but I think Max is just going to be on top of it a little bit better. So he's going to win the race. So I got Max, Checo, and Leclerc finishing up, rounding off the podium for me this weekend in Saudi Arabia.
Very nice. Well, I do have two of the same drivers, but in slightly different orders. I do believe Max will take victory. I'm going to go first to third. But I think
Mm-hmm.
Leclerc is going to come in second. And I think
Okay.
Norris is going to come in third. The McLaren was fast through the fast stuff at Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia is
Yeah.
all fast stuff. But no doubt, Perez did an amazing job winning last year, of course. But when we get to some other predictions, you will see why I put Perez. I'm sorry, outside of my top three.
No, that's interesting. I mean, I agree with you. McLaren has been fast, and Lando. I mean, it wouldn't shock me him finishing third. Next segment, fastest lap, Bryce. Fastest lap in the race. Who do you
Yeah.
think
So
will get the fastest lap?
well, assuming that the top three kind of break off, I think someone down the field could end up getting the fastest lap. Possibly someone. My guess, maybe a George Russell coming out late if there's a big enough gap on the cars ahead of him, and goes ahead and gets that extra championship point by getting the fastest lap.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess. I think for me, I'm gonna go with the king of the street racing, Checo. I think he
Going
has
Checo.
a pretty good race, but it's just like I said, it's gonna be super hard to beat his teammate. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just almost impossible.
Yeah.
And I think the strategy's focused on Max like it should be. Ultimately, I think Checo wins his race and finishes second and with the fastest lap. So I think that's my guess.
Yeah. That's the tough thing with Max there. Max could easily just be like on 100 lap old softs and go, "Hey, what was the fastest lap?" They're like, "Oh, yeah, he was on fresh tires and had DRS. Don't try it." And
Yeah,
Max will beat it by 3/10. So yeah, there's definitely a good possibility that realistically
yeah,
that Max
that's
takes the
crazy.
fastest lap.
Next segment, team battles. What do you
Yeah.
think? What's your predictions for teams that will have one of the closest battles on track? For me, before the weekend started, my guess was Ferrari. You know,
Same.
Sainz and
Yep.
Leclerc. But obviously, Sainz not being there, I'm not saying Ollie's not going to be super competitive, but I just don't think he's going to be up there like Sainz would have been. So I shifted
Yeah.
my answer. I think I got two answers for that. I think McLaren and Aston Martin are going to be pretty close.
Really?
Obviously, Lando being I think McLaren. You mentioned it before in your podium rankings. You know, you have Lando finishing third. You know, they're there. I think Oscar Piastri is going to have a good qualifying lap and finish up there with Lando. And I
Mm-hmm.
think right now finishing FP3, Alonso and Stroll were neck and neck. You know what I mean? Finishing around the same position. So I think it's going to be pretty close on track. It'll be interesting to see what both teams do.
Yeah, I have completely different answers on that, and my guess would be the same thing. I initially
Hmm.
thought that I initially thought
Is that
that
automated?
I think so. I don't know how you
Does
did
this
that.
look? We went dumb.
Going into the weekend, I did think that we would see, a battle between the Ferrari teammates. But like you said, with Oliver Behrman stepping in, I'm not sure that he would be quite on the level of Sainz, just spending
Yeah.
so much time in the car. So my predictions for the closest team battles is two teams as well. And I have the Mercedes boys and the
Hmm.
uh, Visa Cash App Racing Bulls boys.
Boys, that's a
Boys.
handful, huh?
Yeah. No, I think the spice will continue. I think Ricardo and Yuki Tsunoda are closer than a lot of people would like to admit. Um, and I think that George and Lewis are very close as well, ultimately in the car.
No.
So
So I would have said Mercedes, but you'll find out later why. I don't think they're it's not going to be a battle between both of them. But I
We're both
mean, to
foreshadowing.
to touch base on your Visa Cash App, I that is a good, interesting pick, given how they ended last weekend. In the
Hmm.
cool down lap. So I would like to see them battling on track. I mean, obviously they're battling essentially for what could be a Red Bull seat. So I
Yeah,
mean, I understand the competitive nature between both of them. I would be doing the same exact thing as they would be to get
yeah,
ahead of your teammate.
right.
So moving on, crazy predictions. What are your wild predictions that can impact this Grand Prix this weekend?
Yeah, so like I
Well,
mentioned earlier when we were going over the top three, that I had Perez out of my top three. That is not because I see him finishing in the top five or even top 10. That is because I think that there will be a safety car, possibly caused by Sergio Perez.
I can tell you my prediction for safety car right now,
What's
and
that?
he's the same nationality as us.
Ah, you think Logan
That's all I
Sargent
have to say.
spins it? Yeah.
Keep going.
But yeah, that is my crazy prediction for the race. I think there will be a safety car, possibly a red flag, knowing Jeddah, and I think it'll be caused by a Sergio Perez.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising to me, actually. I mean, I can't see it happening, but for him to cause it, and so are you predicting he just DNFs?
Yeah, could be reliability, could be an accident. I don't wish an accident, of course, but yeah, that's my prediction. I think his run of
Hmm.
Street Circuit King gets a little tainted.
A little taint. All right. Great choice of words there. I shifted my crazy prediction right before this
Hmm.
recording session started. I have Ollie finishing top 8.
Oliver Behrman?
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
think
that's a crazy
Ferrari's.
prediction.
You don't think so? I
No, I was
mean, for
expecting
him
to say like
having
fourth or
six,
something.
for him having 60 minutes in just FP3, and he's
Yeah,
about to. Well, we'll find out
he's
what he finishes in
yeah. I think he's driven free practice one in a Haas twice, so he does have
Audi
some
in
experience in an
Saudi.
F1. Yeah, he does have some experience in an
Why does
F1
it keep
car.
doing that?
I have no idea. You got to quit drinking with your thumb up. Put your thumb down
Well, I
next
think
time
it.
you drink.
I think it looks like a thumb with a
Yeah,
straw.
but nonetheless, no, I
Ollie
could
top
see I
8.
could see
Logan
him
finishes
doing.
last,
Those are your crazy
but that's
predictions.
but that's not crazy.
Those are seemingly mild predictions, I think.
Well, moving on.
All right, so we both have the same driver finishing on the top spot. What do you think the margin will be between Max Verstappen and said second place?
So, like I said, I have Max first, Checo second. I
Hmm.
have I have a 5 to 10 second gap. I don't think it's as drastic as last weekend in Bahrain, but I think it's not close. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think Checo is at most 10 seconds behind Max as they cross the finish line.
Okay. Okay. So I was a little more ambitious with Max's goal. I think, like I said, I think Leclerc will finish second, and I think Max will just continue to pull away. I don't know how much pace he really had in the back yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
or not yesterday, but last weekend. Um, and I put a big number on it. I put a big number. I said 18 and a half seconds. I think he finishes well ahead of second place at the end of
18
the
and a
day.
half seconds.
Yeah.
Dang. I hope you're not right, but because then that means it'll be an uneventful race up there,
Yeah.
between first and second. But, you know, we'll see. Max is that guy, He might double
Yeah.
that. You never know.
Right.
Next segment, surprise performances. What do you think are some of the the drivers that can make some significant impacts or exceed expectations or, flop, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some surprise performances. Now again with waking up to the news, of course. I think Oliver Behrman, I think he can have a phenomenal performance. I could very easily see him um, in the top five. Um,
Really?
I think if he
That
finished in the
high?
top five, I don't know if anyone would be surprised. The Ferrari looks good. Leclerc was able to, he was second fastest in FP3. And Leclerc had
Mm-hmm.
a pretty healthy gap to Behrman. I think Behrman can, sit down, look at the data, and hopefully bring what he learned into the qualifying and then into the race. And then I also could see one of the cars that we saw last weekend out of the points, possibly in the points. Maybe, one of the cars like the Visa Cash App Red Bull could maybe sneak into to 10th place if, for example, one of the cars up front causes a safety car or DNFs.
Mm-hmm. So I think overall, I can see them happening. I have two surprise performances, one kind of flopping, one exceeding expectations. I think Alpine gets points this weekend. I
You
think
think
they,
Alpine gets points?
yeah. And I know it's a far stretch, bro, but this leads us into our next segment. But I think we both believe that there's going to be some sort of safety cars there involved.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to play a big role into something. So I think Alpine gets some points. My second prediction or surprise performance, I think Lewis flopped. I don't think he has a good race. I think
Hmm.
he's just been not happy with the car all weekend. He finished ninth in FP3.
Yeah.
I don't know how much better he can do in qualifying here shortly. So that's why going back to the team battles and whatnot, I didn't put him there because I don't think George and Lewis were going to be super close to be battling each other as a team or moving forward. So I feel Lewis. I would not be surprised if he finishes 10th and
Okay.
and whatnot. I know he has obviously the one lap record there in 2021, I believe, right?
Yeah.
For Saudi Arabia,
127.
but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he doesn't feel from the press conferences and all the interviews. He has not seemed very confident in the car or very happy with it. So I can see
Yeah.
that happening.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that happening, or I could see them making some sort of switch, and then all of a sudden he's towards the sharper end and battling up front. You could see it going either way, I think. But the one thing I do not
Mm-hmm.
agree on, I think if any team picks up points, I don't think it's Alpine. I mean, they were dead last, ultimately last weekend. If it wasn't for reliability, issues with Logan Sargent and whatever issues, I think the opening lap issues that Bottas had, they would not have finished 17 and 18th, much
Mm-hmm.
less getting into
And the
points. I don't
points.
know. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
11
rooting for the
kilos
underdog.
overweight. You're rooting for the underdog? Well, let's hope it happens. They
Well,
need it.
all the storylines about them losing so many, employees or
Mm-hmm.
resigning and whatnot. I don't know. Backs against the wall. I don't know. They might put it. I mean, they're both Frenchmen. They need to fight for their French community and French flag. So
For their team.
and they have
Yeah.
all these sponsors. They have Travis Kelsey. They have Patrick Mahomes. Ryan Reynolds. I mean,
Yeah.
they all got money. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they got to invest somehow. So it's got
Yeah,
to
they
pay
all got
off.
money.
So
But they need to use that money to
I
make
don't
that
know,
car about 11 kilos lighter.
bro. Give him a chance. You'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe
11 kilos. What
next
is that, dude?
segment.
That's like 30
I don't
something
know kilos
pounds.
compared to.
It's
Are you serious?
massively overweight. Yeah.
Let's see. So what do you think? I mean,
Uh,
24.
24. The car's 24 pounds overweight.
Yeah,
Either
it's Lily
gas,
Mateo.
yeah, Gasly and Ocon need to either turn straight anorexic or they need to figure something out in that car.
They're
So
already leaning
that's the
up.
rumors. Yeah, they're already But
All right.
Ocon's tall.
Next.
It's very like dense, bones dense.
Yeah, but he's. I mean, he's. You saw him on Drive to Survive. He's built for his
Yeah,
size. I
yeah.
think he still only weighs like what 180. No, I think that's too heavy for F1 driver. Maybe 165.
I'm not sure. He has to be light
Anyways,
though.
next segment. Safety car possibilities. What do you think the likelihood of a safety car, you know, happens in this race? Obviously, we both already kind of touched on that subject. Um, I think for me, there's definitely going to be one. My prediction is going to be there's going to be two safety cars.
You think two
Now, I don't know
safety
if it's going to
cars?
be I don't know if it's going to be a VSC or a full blown yellow, or even possibility of a red flag. Maybe, like you said, maybe Checo does, you know, lose the car and damages the barriers to a certain extent that they need to actually stop the race for a little bit. Could
Yeah,
be, but I think there's two. I mean, it's just a fast track. So many twists and turns. I it might be super close racing, so I can definitely see that happening. Or maybe even
yeah,
reliability issues.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. A reliability issue at this track could cause a red flag. You know,
Yep,
you know.
it's super tight.
So it's like I mentioned earlier in the video, it's possibly one of the most dangerous tracks on the calendar. It's very
Hmm.
fast. You're very close to walls. It's Monaco, except for double the speed.
Right.
So yeah.
So how many safety cars do you think, or safety flags?
I'm sticking to one, but I think that if there is one, it's going to be full blown safety car leaning towards possibly a red flag, either like you said, due to damaged barriers or, um, having to clear debris.
I just hope it's a full blown yellow flag that bunches up the pack, because I do
Yeah,
think Max is going to run away. So
yeah,
I hope
got to
it's
keep them
something that
close.
they right.
All right,
Last segment, one of our favorites, driver of the day.
driver of the day.
I didn't go with
Uh,
the safe answer either, which obviously would be Max. But
Safe answer
what?
is Max. Okay. No, I was just wondering who you thought was the safe answer.
Yeah, or another name. But anyways, driver of the day. I'll let you go first. Who's going to be your driver of the
You
day?
let me go first. Oh no. So again, I'm rooting for him. Oliver Behrman. I think he can get driver of the day. I think maybe.
What?
Oh, of course, dude. Because think about if we're predicting who is going to be voted as driver of the day. Of course, all the eyes are going to be on Oliver Behrman. So if he does anything remotely good, I think he wins. You know, if your prediction's right and Alpine gets points, whatever Alpine driver gets points is driver of the day, no doubt. But I think if Oliver Behrman comes in and does a decent job, gets the car into some good points, I think very good chance of being driver of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you can go that route. You can also talk about, like I said, I was thinking about Alpine with my prediction, getting points. That can happen. You mentioned the team battles between Visa Cash App, Ricardo and Sonoda.
Mm-hmm.
Ricardo's loved by so many fans. I think if he finishes in the points, I think he's going to be favored for that, especially if it's kind of like a bounce back race compared to last week.
Right.
Um, I guess you could say my answer is a little bit safe too. Uh, I can kind of see Charles winning it. I don't know. I think he starts off kind of weak. He doesn't have a super good race. Maybe I do believe Max will get pole. Maybe
Yeah.
Charles gets second. Max pushes him out of bounds or whatever as much as you can in this tight track. Kind of loses a couple spots. Maybe he gets a puncture. Goes straight to the pit.
Fights back.
Starts back. They put him on hard tires, and he fights back and finishes, in my prediction, on the podium on third.
Yeah.
So just a typical Ferrari. Charles kind of always
Ferrari
having to battle through.
masterclass.
Yeah, Charles always having to battle some uphills and obstacles, but still always fitting, keeping a positive attitude. But that's my prediction.
Yeah. Well, Leclerc's career has not been easy. But yeah, so we both have
I
a Ferrari
know.
driver as our driver of the day. But yeah,
Sure.
I think that anything else you'd like to add?
No, we're excited about qualifying here in about hour and a half. How
Yeah,
are you
we
gonna
got
watch that at
qual.
work?
Oh, easily. I'm gonna watch it at work.
AirPods?
Yeah,
Me too.
AirPods and my screen popped up just right under my computer as such. So
You need a stand or something, like a kickstand or something for your phone.
I have like one of those like wireless charging pads that you like put it on.
Oh well, there you go. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
So it's gonna happen. We're
Qualifying
watching. We're watching it.
under the lights, exciting. Let's see what Ollie does. Obviously Max. Interesting to see what's going to happen, but
Yeah, very
we'll stay
excited.
tuned, and then next time you see us, you're going to see the reaction after the race. Hopefully, it's a
Yes.
good race. So
Yeah.
we'll see you guys
Well,
then.
yeah, we'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all of those things, and any support's greatly appreciated. And we will see you
Yeah.
guys in the next one.
Thank you.
Peace.